Now, we want to look at some likely questions in JAMB on displacements of between 2 points. Let's look at the question on the here. Calculate the distance between 2 points M, 6,5, bracket closed, and N, bracket open, 9,10, bracket closed. Looking at this, let me say something before we go here. Here you have 6, 5. What does that mean? That simply means that this point M is on Cartesian plane. The 6 means x1. What does that mean? That means the value on the x-axis is 6 and the value on the y-axis is y. I mean it's 5. So this is y1. The same thing here. You have 9, 10. This 9, this is the second point. This 9 is x2 and this y is y2. So on the first point, the value of n on x-axis is 6 and the value of y of n on y-axis is 5. The same thing here on n. The value of n on x-axis is 9 and the value of n on y-axis is 10. Now we want to calculate the distance between m and n, or the displacement between m and n. I told you before that this is x1 and this is x2. This is y1 and this is y2. Now, what we do is d, which is the distance or displacement, equals to the square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. This is how we do it. Now, as I told you before, that your x1 is 6, your x2 is 9, your y1 is 5, and your y2 is 10. Now, what you need to do is to bring this value into this. And how to do that? You have d is equal to the root of, what is my x2? My x2 is 9. So I have 9, my brackets. What is my x1? My x1 is 6 minus 6 and what? Square plus bracket open. What's my y2? My y2 is what? 10. 10. And what is my y1? My y1 is 5 minus 5 all square. Now looking at this, 9 minus 6 will give me 3. So I have 3 squared plus 10 minus 5. That will simply give me 5. 3 squared plus 5 squared. You can see. So 3 squared will give me 9. So this will be d is equal to square root of 9 plus 25, because 5 squared is 25. 9 plus 25. And 9 plus 25 will give me what? Will give me the square root of 34. Will give me the square root of 34. So you look at the square root of 34. Now let me tell you something here. Here, the unit, SI unit was not given. So you don't know whether it's centimeter, whether it's millimeter. So your answer will not also carry SI unit. You will not carry a unit because you don't even know whether you are working on meters or you are, except otherwise stated. But in this case, nothing was stated, and since it was not stated, the final answer will not also state what the value will be. This is not the final answer. You have to find the square root. You have to find the square root of 34. You will have to find the square root of 34. So we have 34, the square root of 34. You have to find the square root of 34, which is square root 3, 4. Gives me what? Gives me 5.8. Give me 5.8309 and so on. Now, I want to use this opportunity to teach something here. Look at this. The question did not ask you to the how many decimal points. It is your responsibility to determine how many decimal points. If it was in meter, then you know how many decimal points. But coincidentally, since we were not given any unit, so this will give me 5.8 as this will give me 5.8 as my answer. 5.8 as the final answer. Look at it here. I told you before, anytime once you have it, if you are working on three coordinates, which is x, y, z, the first one, the first values belong to x. The second one belongs to y. While the third one belongs to z. So that is why you can see. Someone can tell you P 5, 4, 8 like this. If you are giving this P 5, 4, 8, which means this point is on three Cartesian. It's a Cartesian point. That is, you have your x, you have your y, and you have your z. So, but for this case, most of the time, JAMB always bring out questions from x and y. Most of the time, JAMB always bring out questions on two coordinates. And that's why we are looking at these two coordinates. One thing is important here. One, you must know which one is the value of x, and you must know which one is the value of y. Students make some mistakes. And what is that mistake? Some students will mistakenly say x2 plus x1. Please, this is wrong. And some students will actually get it correct, x2 minus x1, but here, instead of them, they will put minus here. It is also very, very wrong. It's also very, very wrong. And some students will also go further. They will get everything correct, but they will not remember that you have square here. Because it's already a square root, they say because it's already a square root, they will not know that there should be a square here. Please don't make that mistake. And at the end of the day, we play. And when you play this way, you will still see the answer in one of the options. You will definitely get the answer from one of the options. You will definitely get the answers in one of the options, and you take that one as the correct answer. But actually, it's not correct because of the fact that you omitted the square that's supposed to be on top of the bracket. Take note of that very well. And some students, they even go further. Some students will even tell you x squared, x1, x2 squared minus x1 squared. This is very, very wrong. Please don't make such a mistake. It is x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus 1 all squared, the square root. That is how to do it. And that is how you can get the correct answer. Once you do it this way, provided you don't have calculation error, for instance, maybe I say 9 minus 6. Instead of 3, I say it's 2. That is very wrong. So always remember your x1. So if you actually benefit from this lesson, you can check my YouTube and just subscribe. You can revise it. You can also share it with some of your friends to look at it, and I'm very sure they will pass. From next week, we are going to continue in JAMB sessions. So, in a lot of JAMB questions, and we are going to treat so many questions. Thank you very much. This is your practice question. You have P 3,4 and Q 5,8. It's your practice question. Solve it and drop your answer on the comment section. If you have benefited from this video, please drop it with your friends and share it with your friends.